Let's talk about another group of methods for strings. These will allow you to access a specific character or a whole range of characters. The first one is charAt. Now, this is just a method that does the same thing that bracket notation does for you if you want to access a single character and you know the index. So I'll create a new variable here. We're going to go find the fourth character. And so I will go to our string here, serial number, and call charAt and pass in index 3. Because as you may recall, the fourth character is at index 3 because of zero-based indexing. Let's log it. And we get 9. So we see right here the fourth character is 9 at index 3, and we got that with the method charAt. Okay, let's look at how you can take a slice. We want to extract the 3-digit number from the middle, that 992. We already know that the first character is at index 3. So let's start by creating something to store this, because remember, strings are immutable, which means we're not going to be changing the string by going and accessing part of it. So we need to store this in a new variable. So I'm going to call this numeric part. We'll go to serial number and slice. And then if I want to take just a section from the middle, I need to have 2 different indices. I need to give it first the place to start, which is index 3. And then I need to say, if I want 3 characters, then I need to give it 6. And you might say at first, but isn't that going to include index 6, in which case you would have 4 characters? And the answer is no. The way slice works, that second argument should be the index after where you want to end. So the way that I like to remember this is that 3 plus 3 is 6. I want a 3-character piece. So if I start at 3 and add 3, then I'm going to be ending just before index 6. Let's log this and see what we come up with. And we have 992. Okay, so that worked perfectly. Slice can also help you grab something from a certain index all the way to the end. And when you do that, it's actually a little simpler. Let's create a new variable to store this. We'll call it suffix. Go to serial number, slice. And if I manually count this, I can see that the A in alpha is at 7. You also could figure this out dynamically by index of. For now, I'm just going to hard code the 7. And that's it. You don't need to use the second argument. You don't even have to tell it, here's where you stop. As long as you only give it 1, it assumes that you want to go all the way to the end from that point. So we'll log the suffix. And we see alpha. Now, this also works using negative indices. And this is something we may not have talked about yet, but you can actually start at the end and work backwards. So let's create one that says last 3 digits and go to this and say slice and -3. That'll start 3 characters back from the end and give you everything to the end from that point. We'll run it and we see PHA, which is exactly what we were expecting. So just to recap, we have charAt that finds a single character. It works the same way that bracket notation does. You just give it an index. Slice works where you can have a starting index and then give it the index after where you want to stop, and it will give you everything in between. If you leave off that second argument, it will take everything from that index all the way to the end, and that can also be accomplished by saying how many characters from the end you want and using a negative index. I'm going to make a quick git commit here. And then we'll talk about the practice exercise. You can come in here and use these strings and the instructions and choose which one of these methods that you just learned to get the job done. That's all I've got for you. I will see you in the next one.